Hello teachers, and welcome to the norming video for the constructed response section for 3rd grade science for CA3. Before you begin the norming process, you'll want to take a second to download and print the exemplar responses that are posted in a PDF underneath this video. Those will give you much better understandings of what scholars might actually write down as their answer and what gets full credit. So starting off with number 1 for this science constructed response, you'll see a question that gives scholars an experiment that was done by a class and what they some plants that they planted and under what conditions they planted them in and what they did for 5 weeks. So this total question is worth 4 points total. So the very first part is asking scholars to draw a conclusion about why a certain plant grew the least, and they should note that the full sun, dry soil plant grew the least because it did not get enough water. And so if they note that, they get 1 point for this first section. For the second part, what were the best conditions for growing the plant? They should note that the best conditions were full sun and moist soil because it had the most amount of growth, and that will get them 1 point. And then the third part down here, why was the plant in partial sun and moist soil able to grow taller than the full sun, dry soil? They need to write something about how it was able to grow taller because it had more water, and that will get them 1 point. And then the last part right down here, which condition was more important for plant growth, full sun or moist soil? They need to write that moist soil was important for plant growth because the plant with dry soil grew very little compared to the plant with the moist soil but partial sun. So they need to tell you that moist soil was the most important and then also explain why in order to receive that fourth and final point for question number 1. So moving on to question number 2. This is also giving scholars a scenario where they need to draw some conclusions and write about some problems they see with this experiment design. So this has a group of scholars that are learning about types of birds. They go the same 15 minutes every morning for a week and just count the different types of birds they see in this one area, this one tree. And they think they're going to see all 20 different types, but they only see 2 different types. So when scholars read that, this question is worth a total of 4 points, 2 points for this first section and 2 points for this bottom section. So they need to note at first 2 problems with the plan that maybe cause those students not to see more types of birds. So there's a few different answers that are noted in the rubric right here. They should note something along the lines of like, one problem is that they only checked from 1:15 to 9:30, and another problem is that they only checked 1 tree. But they can note any of these or any other ones that are logical and make sense up to 2, and they receive 1 point for each problem. And for the second section, describe 2 ways the students should change to fix the problems that you explained in part 1. So they should write something that like the students should observe 3 different times of the day and should look at multiple trees in the area. And they receive 1 point for each of their fixes up to 2. And then the third and final question is worth a total of up to 3 points. It has to do with life cycles, and it shows life cycles of a beetle, the life cycle of an alligator, and then the question is, using complete sentences, you'll notice that it's bolded and italicized. Explain 2 ways in which the life cycle of the beetle is different from that of the alligator. So for this, they'll explain 2 ways that the beetle is different. There's a few different answers that they can go with. One might be beetles undergo a major change in body appearance, but alligators do not. As alligators, while they get bigger, they look very similar. They could also write how young beetles become pupas in this part right here, but alligators never become pupas. So they should receive 1 point for each difference that they note. So that is up to 2. And then they get their additional third point if they write incomplete sentences. And you'll see there's a number of different responses they can have right here. So if you have any questions about a response you get from a scholar, please do not hesitate to write it and ask us on the discussion board that is on Blackboard. Thank you.